you see a lot of these guys, that are real hyped and, crazy acting in the ring that almost transitions to their outer appearance on the outside sometimes, and you see people that are calm and poised, and, they conduct themselves good. They conduct themselves good in the ring, they're a little bit more calmer in life. I guess, I've taken the discipline, from fighting and from martial arts and applied it to my life. Yeah, it's more of a spiritual thing. You can apply a mix of martial arts or martial arts in general to everyday life as far as the discipline part and having the drive to achieve a goal. It just betters one inner self, I think. You don't have to be of a certain religion to practice martial arts. You can apply any of its principles to everyday living.
So you said you started at 8, so would you say that you've been training for roughly 25 years?
Roughly, on and off, yes. Yes. Yeah, I've always been doing something, I may not have been in fighting condition the whole time, but I've always been training in something.
And so since you started in judo, is your strength ground fighting?
A little bit of both. I'm pretty much like a pretty level guy. I'm not a master of one thing. I'm more of like a jack of all trades. I like that concept more because I took that concept from the great Bruce Lee. To train in every aspect, to take all the positives of one art and shy away from the negatives of that art. So.
And you're a very faithful man, correct?
Yes, sir.
Talk about how your faith has helped you overcome not only in your fighting but in your training.
Well, just faith in in general in life. You got to have faith and believe that even though through storms in life and stuff like that that there's always, even though there's a storm, there's always a positive side after that storm. So pain only lasts for a certain season. But success is always on the other end if you endure it. So I take that concept into my daily life, and even when I'm going through certain situations outside, I never let it affect me. And here, this is pretty much like my getaway away from what's going on in my life. So.
Do you have any challenges in your life? Or?
Well, every day, yeah. I mean, even to just wake up and breathe is a challenge. With there's people that's not gonna get to wake up and breathe tomorrow. So I'm always thankful and blessed that when I get to share another day, whether good or bad, it's always a positive.
So, where do you work?
I work at GNC inside the mall and out at Pier Park. It's a pretty good job. I like it because it kind of transitions to the health side of this, staying in shape and learning nutrition and stuff like that.
So you're a rather big guy.
I'm decent. Could gain some more muscle, but I'm happy where I'm at.
Do you find that to be an advantage or disadvantage with large like you fight at the heavyweight level?
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir. It could be an advantage and a disadvantage. With us bigger, whether you're muscular or you're fat, either or. The more weight, the more mass you have, the more oxygen it takes to fuel your body. So, a lot of big guys, we have to focus a lot more on cardio than a lot of the smaller guys. And I kind of like training with the smaller guys because it keeps me up on my toes and keeps me faster. So that way when I do fight somebody that's my size, I have a lot more speed advantage. Just that, this program here is probably one of the best programs in town since I've came here. Coach Tim and Miss Susie have welcomed me with open arms, and they're real good people. They're doing a lot for the community. They're giving back to the community. We're all giving to the community. When we fight, we're not getting paid big money. We're getting paid pretty much, just our travel pay and expenses and stuff like that. And most of the time we fight on shows and we're fighting for good causes like cancer or to help out with, the children and stuff like that. So, just being able to give back is always a plus. I'd rather give than receive.
That's great. One last thing. How about talk a little bit about what this program does for the community directly?
Okay, directly it works with the youth mainly. Troubled youth, the youth in general. We try and set a positive example for them, a place that they can come to and feel safe and train and learn some discipline in their life versus we have a lot of people. A lot of young kids these days are leaving the earth real early, compared to when I was coming up, or when my father's and mother's generation was, and times are rough out there, and people are out there doing what they have to do to survive. But you don't always necessarily have to go the wrong route to do that. There is, that's where your faith kicks in. You got to have faith that God's gonna watch your back, and always provide for you.
So you said that it teaches the kids discipline. What would you say to someone who says you shouldn't be teaching kids how to fight?
I would tell them, until they actually see the type of form of discipline that they're getting mentally, it's giving them motivation, number one. It's making them feel a part of something that's positive and not negative, because they could be out there in the streets with, gangs or tied up in other things. It's teaching them to work toward a goal, in life, so that way they can use that outside, setting up goals outside of their life. If I want to become a doctor or something like that, what I have to do to achieve that goal. It's not always about punching somebody in the face or anything like that. When you see us fight, a lot of the times there's not any type of bad blood between us. You see a lot of guys hype fights up to sell fights, and they talk junk to each other. But at the end of the day, after the fight, they're shaking hands and they understand that it's a sport. We do it because we love to compete. It's not because we're violent people. That's not the reason why